Hey guys, it's Tom here from Touchscreen, and today I want to talk once again about a rule or a rule change, a rule tweak that I think could really improve the game or basically cut out a bit of negative play that we're seeing a fair bit. Okay, so the rule I'm talking about is, well, what constitutes the end of a game. After the siren for a half-time or a full-time, what actually makes a game finish. And yes, I understand that what I'm saying in this video does contradict what I'm saying in another video as far as the touch pass goes after a siren. This rule would make that sort of wrong, but I think this is a more important one. We have a clip here of a men's open game between the Mets and the Bulls, and there's 20 seconds. Oh, just bumped the mic. There's about 20 seconds to go in this game. So what do we do here when we're defending? Well, a lot of teams will call jockey, and by that they mean they're going to ride the clock out, because if you just hold your line here, which is what they're doing, you will give away a penalty, because that's against the rules. You must be moving forward at a reasonable pace. But by the time you give away 3 penalties and have one of your players sent to the sin bin or stand off to the side for giving away 3 penalties, the game would have already been done. There's only 20 seconds left here. So what teams are doing is they're giving away those first 2 penalties to ride the clock down. And then the team with the ball aren't actually allowed their structured play, which involves that phase of a dump first. Because all the plays, 95% of the plays in touch football revolve around a strike dump or some form of dump of the football. So if you can just hold your line like the Mets are doing here in defense, there is 6 on the field, there's one off screen. If you just hold your line like that, yeah, you give away penalties, but you don't allow that attacking opportunity for the team with the ball. So let's just continue the play now and just watch what happens. Now, you can't hear it. I'll tell you, you'll understand when the hooter is gone. There's a first penalty. They hold. Still holding. And now they get up because the hooter just went then. Bulls do nearly score. They do that late switch, which is a nice little play. But yeah, that is what is happening when the game is in the balance and it's at the end of the game. Teams are just riding out the clock. It could be like they could be up by 1, could be level, whatever. They're just riding out the clock. They're happy to give away those penalties. And like, do we really think the referees should be interpreting a rule differently based on where they are in the game? In my opinion, they should be reffing the game the exact same way the whole way through. The rule book doesn't change just because the game's near the end. What that referee's done is fully correct. I wouldn't have just gone straight to the sin bin after the first penalty. So I have no issues in what the referee's done here. But it's just the way that the rules are written, it opens up the opportunity for teams to manipulate them. So what do we do? What do we do here? I would say that let's write in the rule book that after the siren sounds, you are allowed that phase of play. You are allowed to have that last dump. Because the way that touch football's played these days, everything's in periods of 2 touches. There's the setup and then there's the execution. So if you allow that dual combo, I guess, of your touch football play to happen after the siren, you won't see any of this. You won't see any teams deliberately breaking this rule, because they know that even if they wait until the siren goes, they've still got to defend that play. So you'll see a lot less of this negative play, and teams might start to get a bit more aggressive, try and disrupt the attack rather than just not doing anything. And just, yeah, it just doesn't look good, especially when you're trying to market the game to a wider audience, which is what touch football essentially is trying to do. They want everywhere on the planet playing it. So when you market the game, you need to not be showing this sort of stuff. And when you have a game that's 5-all, men's open, high quality, elite level game, that's not the finish that we want to see. So that's what I would propose. I would propose that after a siren is heard, you are allowed that phase of play. You're allowed the setup and the execution to get that right. Obviously, you can't do a second phase off that. And yes, that goes back to my other video where I talk about the touch and then the touch pass after the hooter shouldn't be a penalty. If we change that rule, obviously that would become a penalty because it's within that combo of phase. It's within that setup and execution. Or do we just allow that rule if the referee interprets one team is deliberately not trying to make a touch, then they allow the phase of play, which could get a little bit muddy if you leave it up to a referee interpretation to decide how many plays are allowed after the game. But do you think that this is fine the way it is, and you're happy to see the writing down of the clock, or do you think that we could make that little change, or if you've got a better change in mind, let me know, because it could happen in like a drop-off. Actually, it might not happen in drop-offs, but yeah, this could, once teams start getting a hold of it, this is the way that every game that's going to be level will end. And yeah, I'd just like to not see that happen. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think the referee should go to the bin straight up, or force sub someone on the first penalty? At face value, that looks okay, but like I said, I don't think the rules should be interpreted differently based on what part of the game we're in. I think it's just rules of rules. This is the way it should be from start to finish. Because we always talk about how we want consistency, and allowing that would be allowing inconsistency. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. That's all we got today, and we will see you next time on Touchscreen.